I'm Kat.
And we're
The Ghouls next door.
And I just want to apologize at the top here that both Kat and I are sick and we're going to sound terrible.
Sniffles on Sniffles. Sexy voices for worlds around.
This is our third episode ever. And
Woo!
it is about nightmares. And it's also a very special episode because it is featuring one of our very good friends and our first guest ever, the dorky but lovable Siera. Hey, Siera.
Hey!
So Siera is going to talk with us about nightmares. She has experienced some herself. She has some really interesting stories to give us, and really will contribute to the group here.
Sleep demons.
About sleep demons. Ooh. So this is Ghouls Next Door. It is a podcast with an honest opinion about the horror genre from those who truly love them, which is Kat and myself.
Yeah.
And also, kind of, Siera? How do you feel about the horror genre?
Mixed emotions. I used to be a huge fan until they destroyed my life, so there we go.
Well, we're gonna do. I guess that's gonna do that. You're gonna turn that
Burn
off.
it down. Elaborate your words.
Yeah. So, what like really scared you? What is like a kind of thing in the genre? So like some people are afraid of ghosts, like we did our ghost story episode. Some people are afraid of like exorcists because of like their Christian background, or some people hate like serial killers because it's real. So what is a genre that, or a kind of a sort of horror that gets you?
I feel like the scariest thing to me is like the demonic, like evil energies. I don't know why, like the serial killers and whatnot, like doesn't scare me as much. Every time I've had like since I was young, I was super fascinated with horror, regardless of what it was, like serial killers, like demons, I don't know, whatever. But the things that like haunted me in my nightmares was always like the evil energy.
Yeah, well, I mean, because that is kind of terrifying in that you don't really know, like, there's no logical reason for it. So it's like with serial killers, you can take kind of precautions, like...
Or you can kill them back.
Yeah, you kill them back.
Like, what I know about you is that I know why you're not scared of serial killers, because you think you could murder them first.
Yeah, that's true.
You have a lot of faith in your
like,
murder
let's
abilities.
Go find the serial killer.
Yeah, like you hear a noise, you're like, I'm gonna go fuck that shit up. Like, what? No. They think they're gonna kill me? No, I'm gonna kill them.
She's gonna kill them first. She's
But
like
with a
seeking
demon,
out.
You can't kill a demon.
No, because you
those
don't...
are already dead.
Yeah, no, you can't.
Totally understand your logic.
Yeah.
True.
You have to, like, battle it with, like, whatever energy. I don't know. It's, like, it's so messy and weird. It's not the same as, like, battling a human. So that's always been scarier to me.
Because it's an other. It's an otherness. Like, it's on a different plane.
Yeah.
So it's like, you can't... How do you get a
how do you do
crucifix?
it? Yeah, you're like,
They turn it around.
Holy water?
Yeah.
There you go.
That's
It's like, oh, thanks
that
for
is
that.
very based on if religion is actually real. Like, demons can exist without religion being real.
Yeah.
So it's
that's
like,
very
we might
true.
have absolutely no knowledge.
Yeah.
They'll be like, haha, I got this holy water and this cross. I'm like, what the fuck? It's nothing.
Yeah.
I am made of anger and sadness.
Yeah.
You think some water is gonna affect me?
Yeah.
Are you speaking from a personal standpoint?
I am a
Sounds like
demon.
I am made from anger and sadness.
I am made from anger
I
and
am
sadness. I am nothing but sadness and anger.
And it's like, and that's so true, because it's like demons are in a lot of, like, that's one of the equal things in a lot of different religions.
Yeah.
It's not even just like demons, but like evil. Like there's
It's evil
this concept.
energy, like,
yeah.
and anything.
Yeah.
Even if you, like, don't... I don't know. I feel like if you don't have a specific, like, religious background, you could still appreciate the negative versus positive energy. Like, it's just, like, what you feel, you know? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You could pick up on, like, bad things, and depending on who you are, I guess, but you have to be open to it.
Yeah, some people are like, nah.
Yeah.
What I don't like, though, is, like, when people do shitty things, and they're like, yeah, I was just possessed by... like, you know, I bet you there are, like, people out there who are like, when people do awful things, that's just because the badness is inside of them taking them over, and it's like, not always. Sometimes people just fucking
Alright,
suck.
so since this is an episode about nightmares, I thought it'd be a little fun if we could talk about maybe a persistent nightmare, recurring, one that maybe really stuck out to you. Nightmares that are, like, normal, like, people have all the time, like, your teeth falling out.
No, I mean, the usual theme that I get it's never the same thing, and they're always, like, fucking movies. Like, fucking movies in my
Your dreams are?
Well, yeah, and I think that's largely, like, a narcolepsy thing. It's, like, a whole thing where they're like, you have crazy dreams. That's just a symptom of the stuff that you experience. A lot of it's, like, being chased, but, like, manipulating my grandpa's house. I'm always in my grandpa's house when I have these crazy dreams. And it'll be something where, like, the people in my life, perception of me changes in a negative way. And, like, they don't trust me or, like me anymore, but I had no control over it. And then I'm, like, rushing to, like, fix it. And there's, like, this evil thing that lives in the closet in my grandpa's guest room. And it leads to, like, a different part of the house or, like, the outside or something. And that's where all the bad things are. And that's where, like, they, like, manipulate all the things in that, like, part of that room. And I don't know why. But it's, like, it always comes from that or the basement, and always bad things happen. Like, I'll either have a zombie apocalypse dream there. I'm always in that house. I think that's, like, the biggest thing. And then it's always, like, people turn against me at some point. And it's based on things I don't remember doing. So, like, kind of, like, I guess a fear of, like, being out of your body.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, not having control of the actions and just not remembering, like, doing something to upset someone that you might have done.
It's also like that the zombies would play into that, too, because that's not having control of your body.
Yeah.
You're just instinct and, like, drive and basic, you know.
Yeah.
Later, like, what you do, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like it always happens where, like, I'll do something or, like, someone will remember me doing something horrible to them and I won't remember doing it.
Yeah.
So I won't even have, like, the sadness associated with that. Like, I can't even be sorry because I don't freaking remember. Yeah, right? And then, like, in my mind, like, in the dream, I'm always convinced that I didn't actually do it. Like, it's not real. And then I always, like, find the evil thing that's somewhere in the house. It's the thing that's making that a thing. And it's weird. I have that dream all the fucking time. I had a dream the other day where you were actually in it, but you weren't, and it was weird. Because you were in it and she was not. Mm-hmm. So Siera versus Gabe, fight to the death now over my love. But yeah, you were in it, and it ended at my grandpa's house, and it ended up being that we ended up having to hide in the basement of my house, and then you died. I heard you die.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, I heard you die.
We did?
Yeah, we went to get Spanish food.
Aw, bitches.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well,
you died in that one dream.
That's so
And also the doors kept opening and I kept locking them and they kept opening themselves and I kept calling for help for you guys and you're like, we're doing this. And I'm like, the doors are open, there's murders. Why is no one helping get the murders out of here?
And side note, in real life, if you ever called or texted me when that was happening, I'd be over here like ASAP.
Oh, I know, because you're actually crazy. It'd be great.
Every weapon that I could possibly find, I'd throw it in my... I'm sure Gabe would too, obviously, if she wasn't home at the time.
I feel like you would, but at the same time, you'd be like more like I meet you outside and we escape together.
Here's the courses of exit.
You don't come in and murder the fucker. You help me escape
plans. But if
you like drive me away.
But we went through this. Like
you would fucking run head first.
But I would also probably be the first one to get killed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you for sure would.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because you think you're strong as fuck, and you are. You're a little scary.
No.
In some ways, in that way, I feel like
it's alright.
I'm
willing to it's just like my life that I'm willing to sacrifice myself for other people. That's just what it is.
I feel like I'm on that tangent too, but deep down, I'm maybe not as selfless in that way as I think. I think if I was doomed to die, that is how I want to die.
I would try my hardest to murder the shit out of someone, though.
Yeah.
Like, in every way that I possibly could.
Would just try my darndest. During that dream, though, where you were being murdered upstairs in the room, that was my old bedroom where all the people died, the dead bedroom.
The dead bed.
There was a woman who was trying to get in the door, and the door kept opening, and there's like a mail slot, and I stabbed her in the stomach a bunch of times through the mail slot, and that was the thing. And I felt like you'd be proud of that, and I wanted to express that.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, if there was a murder in your room, and you texted me, you're like, there's a murder in your room, I'm gonna be in the room murdering the murderer. Yeah. But if you were like, there's someone in the house, and they're not quite where I am, I'd be like, all right, you remember our exits. You remember...
You know where the doors are, right? You live here, too.
I feel like it would be more effective, though, to be strategic in that.
So, Siera, do you have any recurring nightmares? Not Sleep paralysis nightmares.
Yeah. The teeth falling out thing, that always happens to me. It happens to me when I'm stressed out mostly. But when it happens to me in my dreams, I try to hide it. So like my teeth will be falling out and I won't be able to like talk properly, and they'll be like physically like in my hands, but I'll like try to either like stuff them back where they belong, or like because I'm embarrassed. Like I'm just like, I don't want people to see me. Like I look ugly, first of all. I'm self-conscious about it. I don't know. It's just like not how it's supposed to be. Like in my dream, I'm like, oh, I'll go to the dentist like eventually later on this week. Like I don't know.
It'll be okay.
Yeah, like it'll be okay. I'll find a solution. Like whatever. But it happens to me all the time. And my grandma used to always tell me that it meant like death. Like I don't know if there's it meant like
That's real dark.
So like
Let me make you feel better. You're gonna die.
She's like, oh, that means like death or something awful, and I'm just like, oh my god, it literally happens to me all the time.
Because you weren't stressed before.
Exactly. Like, thanks, Grandma.
Thanks.
Awesome. I thought you were supposed to be supporting
Thanks, Mom.
But I'm not sure like what the meaning behind it is, but that's just something that happens to me all the time. The teeth falling out.
I do believe the teeth falling is stress. It's definitely like a stress induced, like but my favorite dream to tell, and because it's just, to me it's hilarious, was I had this dream once where I was talking to my mom. It was like this kind of stressful, like there's a bunch of shit happening in my dream, but then at some point I come and I'm like talking to my mom and she's telling me something, and at some point in the conversation her just like jaw like unhinges and just pops open like really wide, and all I hear is but it was so horrific because I'm like, Mom, what the fuck? She's like, yeah, and for dinner,
That is terrifying.
Yeah, I had like this alarm that would start quiet and it would slowly like gain because it would like permeate your dreams. Like, it was there because I just would never wake up. Yeah. So it would just like seep in, and so for some reason my subconscious was like, here comes the alarm.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh,
it was
so
horrifying.
Though.
I've had the running thing like a few times, and I also have this really weird thing that happens to me when I'm dehydrated. Like, it's so weird how your body reacts to things like that, or how your mind reacts to physical things. But when I'm dehydrated and I'm sleeping, I dream that I can't talk to people because my mouth is so dry. Like, you know that episode of SpongeBob where he's like,
yeah.
Like, that's how I am in my dream. Yeah, it's so weird. Like, my body tells my mind that I shouldn't be able to speak because I have no, like, use of my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
So weird.
Murder fountains.
That's a really long Those children sing that for so long. Alright, so again, we're talking about nightmares. So I figured we could talk about some sleep disorders, some popular ones, some of which we all have encountered and suffer from, experienced, etc. So for one, I want to touch briefly on Kat and her narcolepsy.
Narcolepsy.
Tell us about it. What is it?
What is narcolepsy?
Yeah.
It's a thing where...
It's a thing that you have.
It's a thing I have. What's wrong with my body and my brain?
Yeah. That's it?
I explain it literally all the time to the point where people are probably sick of me explaining it, but I'll do it one more time for everyone here today. So, like, what I've learned about it, I might be wrong in certain parts, so if the internet wants to correct me, they can feel free. But what I've been explained to me with my knowledge and the doctor people is that it's similar to, like, epilepsy in the way that it functions in the brain where, like, there's certain chemicals your body doesn't produce, and, like, that's what causes the problems. So for me, I've had it for a very long time, but I only found out recently, in like this past April, that it's a real thing. And it's cool because it's like everything that's been wrong with me for a million years is caused by that. And I was like, oh, I'm not an insane person. That's so cool.
Cat's
I was just thought
years
it was
old.
really crazy.
Ancient.
I'm a million years old. I've seen everything.
Then why the fuck are you making the same mistake a million years later?
I just like to experience life.
Over and over and over and over
and
and over and over and over
again. My body doesn't process a certain chemical. I think it starts with an H. And it's usually created when you achieve deep sleep. And the big thing about narcolepsy is that it takes a lot of sleep to achieve deep sleep. So usually you just go from light sleep to REM sleep, which is the dream state, and then back to light sleep. And I can like dream within 15 minutes, and then I'll have like sleep paralysis where I'll dream while I'm kind of awake. So I'll just be like laying there, and my dream life will mix together with the reality times, and I just won't be able to move my body. So that's super not fun. But yeah, just make you feel like you haven't slept in 2 days, but like all the time. And you block out parts of your day because your mind does not hold on to things because it thinks you're dreaming at parts of your day, so it doesn't remember those parts because it's like, you're dreaming. You don't need to remember what's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'll have conversations and stuff with people that I just straight up don't remember, which I think is why I have this freaking dreams where like I do things to upset people and I don't remember it because I've done that. Like that's literally something I've experienced so many times where like be it drinking or just like not remembering just in everyday life, like doing something that like has upset someone and me not remembering doing it and then like having to deal with the fact that it was actually me. And like the out of body feeling. And that was the biggest thing for me with narcolepsy is like I think mixed with like anxiety and all that other fun mental was that out of body experience, which I would get all the time with sleep paralysis, but like also just like during the day when my body I guess would go into the dream state while I was functioning. And I wouldn't remember certain parts, I would, like, literally feel like I wasn't in my body for, like, periods of the day all the time. And, like, that would just, like kind of fuck with me. Yeah, like, it would just, like, fuck with me. I just, like, didn't like it. Evil. And then I would do, like, fucked up things and not remember doing it. I mean, like, who the hell was in my body during that time? Because that's not me.
Yeah.
And it was probably demons. I don't know. Narcolepsy, demons,
classic
thing.
Kate. Blame it on the fucking demons.
Yeah.
Good job.
I went on a whole rant about why people shouldn't do that, and now I'm just like, demons. The demons, they did the bad things.
The demons ate that extra helping.
Yeah.
It wasn't
they did all of that.
I wish I could just use that excuse.
But yeah, like the biggest things.
Don't stop it.
Yeah, the biggest things are like, you're always tired.
Mm-hmm.
You have crazy fucking dreams. So like I would have crazy dreams because I would always be dreaming. I don't get to deep sleep. So I just dream all night. Mm-hmm. And I would feel like I was living a whole another day. While I was sleeping, which is why I'd wake up and be like,
any rest.
There's no rest. My mind was doing stuff all night. And then cataplexy, which is the other fun thing, where like parts of my body go numb based on my emotions, which is like if I'm really happy, sad, or angry, my face will go numb, or my hands will go numb, or I'll like collapse. Like there's a bunch of weird shit.
Yeah, you do just fall asleep instantly.
You it takes 15 minutes
with me, and then you're done. I look over and you're already asleep. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's
narcolepsy. Did you know?
Woo!
Did you know that about narcolepsy?
I guess briefly touching on kind of more what we were planning to talk about, which is a disorder known as sleep paralysis. So I've had 1 or 2 bouts of sleep paralysis, and Siera's had several, an infestation of sleep paralysis, and just kind of going into what technically sleep paralysis is just that during the times when there are several states of sleep, like Kat was talking about. So you have where you're just starting to fall asleep and your body will shut itself down because your body will paralyze itself so that you don't enact your dreams, because if you reenact your dreams, you're going to end up walking off things, and that's what people who sleepwalk don't have. They lose that ability that their body doesn't fall asleep. The second part is REM, which is that dream sleep, and then the last one is your deep sleep. So sleep paralysis is this situation where you your body has numbed itself and paralyzed itself so you don't reenact your dreams, and it's heading into the REM sleep, but at some point your brain doesn't shut off properly, it doesn't go into your dream state, and you're still awake. So when you're entering into REM, something goes wrong in your body, and your mind kind of like wakes up. So it's like as if you were anesthetized. I don't know what the anesthetized, like before surgery, but then you woke up in the middle of surgery.
That's exactly what it feels like. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's terrifying because you're not supposed to be awake, and the thing is, like, you can't move. The rest of your body is not awake. The rest of your body is numb.
Yeah.
And you're very aware that you're not supposed to be awake. And the problem with it is, in what most people experience when they suffer from sleep paralysis, is that it's kind of like you get a glimpse of, like what we were saying earlier about the demons, is this kind of like otherness, like this other plane. Like you get a glimpse into what you're not supposed to see because you're supposed to be asleep. And what's worse is that you can't move. So it's like, it's also driving into that, like, you know, you have paranoia, you suffer hallucinations, because you're also still like right on the brink of your dream state. So those are kind of permeating your reality, and it just becomes this really big mess of psychological torture. And some people suffer from this their whole life. Some people just suffer from it once or twice, like myself, where it's just like in incredibly stressful situations, or lack of sleep tends to be a cause. They don't really have like a specific explanation even to this day of why people suffer from that. And then
it has to do with anxiety mixed with like a sleep disorder. Like that's the only thing that would make sense to me. Like, because you know this about me. I'm not like, you do believe in that kind of stuff sometimes. I think both of you kind of do, but I'm not very like ghosts and demons. Like I usually can talk myself out of that shit. And like, that's where it's like, for me, sleep paralysis is just like, my body doesn't move now. Where like when I was younger and I did believe in the scary things and like ghosts and stuff, that's when I used to see shit when I was younger. Like, and I believed it, and I was like, that is what life is. That's when the scary things happen.
But
now I don't believe in it, so it doesn't affect me that way.
I feel like, one, for people that are like super like open to like spiritual things and whatever, it's like when you're a child, you're open to those things.
Yeah.
But also when you're a child, you're more susceptible to like extreme amounts of stress because you don't know how to digest everything.
Yeah, anything.
So it's like a mix of like
trauma all day.
Awful things. So there's so many things that could factor into how you experience these things. Yeah.
It was like that game I was telling you about, Among the Sleep or whatever, where like, it's just like this little kid, he's walking through your house, and it's just like everyday things, but they look freaking terrifying.
Like, think about your childhood. Like,
everything was
how
scary.
Things was like, were like,
nothing made sense.
Darkness
huge.
Was always creatures.
Yeah, and it was creepy, and it was like, oh my god, like.
Yeah, I didn't know what trees outside my window looked like, monsters, like all that stuff.
We had really bad electrical problems in my house when I was little, and I always thought that it was ghosts. Like, there was one room where things would flicker, but it was because of the electrical problems. Like, it wasn't anything else. You're like,
ghosts are in there.
And I remember trying to freak my brother out and being like, haha, there's ghosts in there, like, you're freaking out. But then I looked around the corner, and I was like, oh my god, like, it's real, you know? Like, you see scary things, you hear scary things, and that's what you think that it is. It's like ghosts. Evil things. And like, I remember me and my brother being huddled in the corner, like, not wanting to leave from that tiny room that we were in, because we thought that that's what was happening.
Yeah. I'm more scared of people. I'm terrified of people. I think people are awful, and they do awful things.
They are.
And they're going to come into my house and murder me, and I'm way more scared of a person, and like that, there's a man in our basement, like that kind of stuff is things that I would be scared of and would believe. We're like, supernatural things, they just don't believe. He's locked down there, but he can open the fucking door. The lock's on his side.
I don't know who designed this.
But yeah, like, I'm not scared of ghosts and shit. So, like, I guess if I were to have, like, a scary sleep paralysis thing as an adult, it'd be like, I'd see a real fucking human.
If you had different, like, I feel like if you had, I don't know, I feel like I grew up with a very strong belief in the spiritual, like, supernatural type of whatever experience. And I feel like if you had a grasp on that, you'd like feel a little bit like, I don't know, maybe you
Yeah.
have an upper hand on us. Like, I'm terrified of all of those things, the things that I can't see and the things that I don't know are real because I can't feel them. I can't, like, there's no, like, you can't really understand them. You'll never understand them. Humans you can understand and you can, like, kind of learn.
Yeah.
But with these things, you can't. And for that, like, from that, we're fearful. Like, we're just, like, that's the thing. Those are the things that I fear. I don't fear humans. Like, if you're gonna fucking kill me, like, whatever, that's on you. You know, like, cool. But, like, if something's gonna come into my room in the middle of the night and murder me from fucking fear.
Like, I always want to sleep during the day, but at night I never want to sleep.
Well, for me, it's like during the day, it's safe. That's why I want to sleep during the day.
Oh my god, that's the best way to describe it.
It's so embarrassing, but I do, unless I'm sleeping in the room with another person, I sleep with either my salt lamp on or the lights fully fucking on. Because
the dark is scary.
For some reason, it's unpredictable, it's terrifying, and I don't know, like, scary. I really, like, I can't sleep sometimes in the dark. I can't sleep without something going on, like, without
TV.
Netflix running in the background, like, I can't,
there needs to be
because
noise
it's too
light.
silent. It's too silent, and I'm scared of what I'll hear or what I'll see. Like, it's just, like,
for me, like, growing up, I could never fall asleep with the TV on, because I need to know, like, I just get transfixed, and there were times when, like, my mom would always watch Law and Order, and
you can't fall asleep to Law and Order?
I can.
No, my mom would fall asleep.
It soothes my soul.
House, Law and Order, fucking Lost, anything that's like an intense show, you cannot sleep to that.
Dun dun. I love that.
Yeah. No.
Dun, 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 dun,
I'm like, I need to know who fucking raped or murdered this person. I need to know what happened.
I'll go back.
But, like, Family Guy, you don't get that. That's why I watch, like, Family Guy, American Dad, Futurama, mindless bullshit that I've seen a million times.
I listen to my
The Office.
Yeah, I watch my like guilty
recently,
pleasures where it's like I don't really need to know, but I just like I'll get stuck in them. But like growing up, my mom would watch Law and Order, and she would fall asleep. But it was my job to watch it and then retell her because she's like, "What happened? Like, who did it?" And I'm like, "It was a brother." And he did that, and it was like I also watched 3 other episodes after that because it was American.
Do you want to know the whole thing? I'll just outline.
Do you want to listen?
I'll
I just got Hardigate, went through some shit, and let me tell you about it. And then so sometimes I remember there's a period of time where I was like, I really need to go to sleep, and I couldn't turn the TV off because again, it's that thing like you always need voices. Like I always need like even like the figment of people around me because I grew up in a household where there's always people around me. Mm-hmm. So like sleeping is like impossible if I can't like hear another person breathing or know something's going on. So I was like, all right, let me put on. I remember I put on like Bob Ross because I was like, all right, he's a boring painter. Like this is known for being boring, and I was like in it. I was like, tell me about those happy trees. And I was like, that's a beautiful cabin, Bob. This is amazing. And I like did not I was up until like 3, 4. I guess I've had insomnia for a long time. I'm just realizing that right now.
That's awesome.
But I couldn't like, and if you turned it off, I'd just still be going on. Like my brain would still be buzzing. And it was like now I watch, like I said, like my guilty, like I watch like I am the croakers of Freddy. Tell Freddy you're Freddy. I smell you. It's that man. Speaking of sleep paralysis,
the darkness
we watched a film, which is a documentary, called The Nightmare. It's a really interesting documentary that really struck all of us. It really freaked us out. It was, they did a really good job of reenacting some of the horrors that people are feeling. So the documentary focuses on 8 people suffering from sleep paralysis, which we explained earlier, which is you're unable to move, speak, or react to anything when you're falling asleep. Occasionally, this paralysis will be accompanied by physical experiences or hallucinations that have the potential to terrify the person. And in this film, Asher, the director, interviews some people who suffer from that and then recreate the experiences that they're telling him And he found that a lot of them have pretty similar situations, and they're often visited by some kind of like unseen or like barely seen just out of the corner of your eye, some entity that's either kind of alien or demonic or just really spooky. And it is just very peculiar that a lot of these people felt it. And me personally, when I watched this documentary, I just kind of watched it because it was like, this is a new thing that's scary and it's a documentary. It's about things people feel. I was like, dope, I'm about it. And I watched it and I freaked the fuck out because I was like, holy shit, I saw that guy. And it was so intense, and it was weird because I guess I didn't black it out, like I remembered it, but I remember watching it and remembering so fully, like it like triggered me, like honestly,
Yeah.
And it was bizarre. I guess for me, my one thing that I had for sleep paralysis that I remember strongly was I had this house where like our living room and our kitchen were on the bottom floor, and then there's a spiral staircase that would lead to our bedroom because it was kind of like a loft.
Mm-hmm.
And the bedroom had the bathroom, and then there was our walk-in closet, and the closet had a door to like lead to the hallway outside because you could usually come in there, but it was like we had it like barred, and like it was like you couldn't get in there. And I was under a lot of stress because it was like my senior year of college. I was like super stressed, and I remember my boyfriend at the time was downstairs playing video games because I was sleeping upstairs because I sleep the times I could sleep. And I remember going to sleep and like falling asleep, and I woke up and I couldn't move, and it was sleep paralysis. And I just remember like laying there, and initially you're fucking terrified because like I can't move, like what the fuck is wrong here, what's going on. And then the way our bed was, my head, like if I could turn my head to the left, I would see the closet. And so I remember like kind of peeking from the corner of my eyes because you can't move your head. It's frozen in place. And peeking from the corner of my eye, I could see a figure in the closet. And it was like in this documentary they had the Hat Man, and that was him. Like he had the same fucking hat. It was the same. It's like a silhouette of a man. And I remember not thinking like, oh, this is a demon. Oh, this is a ghost. It was not, and even there's even a part of me that was like, you're just seeing things because that's the door, like that's just, you're scared in this closet. But I just remember thinking, like, all those thoughts like flew right out of my head because the one thing I was certain of was that there was someone in there, and I was 100% convinced, like in that moment there was nothing else in my head. I was like, someone got into our house, they got in through the closet door, and they're standing in the closet. And they're right next to me. And I remember being so fucking terrified. And you can't scream, you can't move, you can't fucking do anything. And I remember thinking, like, I just need to scream for Anthony because he was downstairs. And just, like, if I could just fucking yell to him so he can come and get this guy. Like, someone needs to know there's a man in our house. And I just couldn't. And it was, like, it couldn't have been more than, like, 3 minutes. But it felt like hours of me being stuck there.
Yeah.
And I could see him, and it was like, and I could see him moving, and it was crazy. Like, I was just like, and he's there, and it was just like, I knew he was there, so he wasn't coming up, and it was just like, he was just waiting. And then I remember I just like willed myself, I was like, all right, I'm gonna just close my eyes. At some point I like came down from like, all right, if there is a person in this house, I can't move right now, so I need to do something else. And so I just remember just like closing my eyes and forcing myself to just like chill out and like come back down. And then at some point I finally was able to like move, and I just remember screaming bloody fucking murder and just being like, there's someone in the fucking house, and Anthony bounding up the steps, and again this is like spiral staircase, and he's bounding up the steps, and he's like, what the fuck, and he's like looking around, and he's like flipping things and just being like, there was someone in this fucking house. And he was like, there's no one here now, like, are you okay? Like, he's like, I know you're under a lot of stress, and your mom calls me and wonders if you're okay. And I was just like, no, you couldn't tell me otherwise. And I remember, like, he, like, got in the bed and we were just there, and there was, like a week after that, like, every night, I'd be there, and I remember hearing vividly someone coming in the door downstairs. Like, I was and I was in a sleep paralysis again. This time I couldn't see, but I could hear, and I heard someone come downstairs. And I could hear, like, the door lock, and he's next to me, like, sleeping, snoring. And I could hear, and I was just like, the guy is fucking back, and he's downstairs, and what is he doing down there? And just be like, why is this happening to me? And it was, like, the most terrifying weeks of my life. So, Siera, do you want to tell us?
Yeah, so I suffered from sleep paralysis for, like, since, I mean, as long as I could remember. All of my experiences have been kind of the same, but a little bit different. In every dream that I had, something was rushing at me from my door. It was never my closet, ever. It was always my door. Mm-mm. So, like, my earliest that I can remember, it was, like, these... Like, I used to sleep with the hall light on, and my door cracked open because I was scared of the dark. I don't know at what point I became scared of the dark, but the earliest I could remember, I was terrified of it. Kat, you look terrified. But anyway, like
things that can't be explained.
Yeah, no, the earliest that I could remember, the worst dream ever was that I was like maybe like 8 or 9, and in the middle of the night, I saw like you would like imagine you're looking at something, and all of a sudden, like the image becomes blurred in certain parts that are the shape of someone. Mm-hmm. So like you don't see anything, but you see like that a certain part of your image, like what your vision is blurred, and it's in the shape of a person. Mm-hmm. So there were a few of them that came into my room, and they rushed my body. Like they came in and they surrounded me around my bed, and then they like overcame me while I was sleeping. I was looking up at them, and it just became blurry around my bed. But then I kind of like removed myself from I was removed from my body, and I could see myself outside of my body, like myself floating above my bed and these things floating around me. So I saw my body like swirled around in these blurry things. I was being like tortured, and I couldn't stop it, and I couldn't scream, and I couldn't move. I couldn't help myself at all. And I just dealt with it. And then when I woke up, I don't remember me waking up, but when I did, I remember running to my parents' room and then being like, oh my God, it was just a dream, like, get over it. So since then, I've had these kind of reoccurring things where something, whether it be a dark man or a face or like I always see something different, always comes to me from my door, my bedroom door. And I always hear this like loud like sound that sounds like a washing machine. It's like so loud, it's by your ears, you can't do anything about it, and you just know that it's happening. So like I've had like these haunting images just like float towards me or rush my body, and know like I've always felt like they knew that I was scared. So that's how they like kept me there in that state. Like the first time I watched like Saw or something, I don't remember, the little jigsaw guy was like floating around my room coming towards me. Like he was tiny, but it felt so evil. No, he wasn't. It was just his face. And I've never been someone that's like scared of what's in the closet or what's underneath my bed. I'm always scared of what's going to come through my bedroom door.
Why did you point at my bedroom door?
Because Charlie opened it a little bit. But yeah, like, no, that's like
that door right there.
I'm there.
What's coming through your door currently?
No, shut up! It's my back is turned.
I never had that. I didn't ever have the spiraling in, like things rushing at me. That's not how. My sleep paralysis is me not in my body, but I like feel also that I can't move.
But
it's
maybe
like
you're
weird.
lucky that you can't be receptive to those things.
It's not like other things though. It's me. Like I am the thing that fucks with me.
So what the sleep paralysis thing is, my friend Jeff told me a story about his dad and his grandmother. So his father grew up and the grandmother had sleep paralysis. And she would have these times where she was suffering from it, and in her sleep paralysis, she would like yell for her son, and she would, like, call out to him, or she'd, like, see what he was doing, because, like, he's active and she's asleep, and when she would wake up, like, the next day, she'd yell at him. She'd be like, I yelled for you, why didn't you fucking come over here? And he was like, you didn't yell for, like, and she would, like, be like, well, you did this, and this, and this, and this, and, like, would
and he'd be like, yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah, it's like, so you were awake, but you didn't call out for me. And so it became apparent that something was going on. She kind of believed in voodoo, sort of, and there's, like, a concept in voodoo lore that's similar to sleep paralysis. It's called the old hag syndrome. And that's that idea. That's that thing. What?
It's a mean name.
Well, it's like the idea is like when you're sleeping, you have that thing that's on your chest. So like in that.
Oh. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Like in the documentary, there's like the scenes where
with the cat and then the man.
There was like the cat on the guy's chest, and then the guy was whispering into his ear, like, saying, like, I'm gonna murder you, and there's a girl next to him who, like, woke up screaming because she said that the cat was looking at him and doing it. I was like, I'm crying again. And it was, like, just that idea that there's something on your chest. And it's kind of like that thing, like, you can't move, so something's immobilizing you. So, Jeff's grandmother had that kind of voodoo upbringing, or, like, that kind of understanding of it. And so she instructed Jeff's dad he said, next time this happens, I have this bowl, and I want you to put this powder in it. And when next time I'm in there, and you can see me, because, like, you kind of could see, like, her eyelids moving, or, like, you know, you can see that there's some kind of panic, or, like, he would know certain signs, because she did it a few times. And she was like, when that happens, and you need to, like, flip the bowl over on my chest, and then wake me up. And so the next time that happened, he remembers seeing, like, kind of the same symptoms, and he runs to the kitchen, and he gets the bowl, and he gets the powder, and he's putting it all in there, and he runs in there, and he does the whole thing. He flips it over, and he wakes his grandmother up, and they look, and on her chest, there's, like, footprints in the powder.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up. That's not right.
Ah!
That's it.
No. Stop. That's not
Shut your
That's what
mouth.
she said.
Stop it.
That I do.
Terrifying. You're scary. I'm scary. We're all scary. We're all scary here. You're scary. We're all scary here. Scary down. This is scary. We're good at the scary times. We do the scary things. We're scary.
Nightmare on Elm Street, though.
Yeah.
You saw that. I saw that. We all saw that, didn't we? What were your feels on that nightmare?
Why don't you tell us about Nightmare on Elm Street? What's it about?
Oh, like, okay. The plot revolves.
You don't have to say.
No, I mean, I watched it a bunch of times when I was little, and I remember it fucking with me. So basically, it's Freddy Krueger. He was burned alive because they thought he touched kids.
Didn't he?
He came around in the dreams of the parents' children. So, like, yeah, he just came all around.
Children. The children that he supposedly fondled.
Oh,
had
really?
children. Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like, so, like,
Yeah.
the ones who burned him had kids, and then he haunts those kids.
Yeah.
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 That's,
Well,
that's the whole
That's
story.
it.
It's the right and left and up and down.
Yeah. And, we watched it.
We did watch it. What?
We watched 1 and 2.
Yeah, no, 2 was fucking weird. I didn't know it was happening.
Yeah,
I
'cause
remember it
1
being
wasn't.
different. No, but, like, 1 I remember watching, and then there's one where they're, like, in an insane asylum, and, like, they don't believe them, and they make them take sleep pills,
Well, they
and that's
never
what makes them
believe
go
them.
nuts time. And then Freddy's mom is in the asylum's, like, hidden
What?
spot. It was, like, a whole thing. And she was like, the reason that he was so fucked up is that she was raped by, like, all these, like, crazy people.
Oh, I remember that.
Remember? Like, did I watch that with
I
you?
do know, but I remember that.
Yeah, I watched that one.
Okay, can I just talk about the movie?
Yep, talking about movies.
Okay. So,
We did talk about movie times.
I love old horror movies.
Yeah.
I love them. But this movie, I don't know why it was ever made. Or why
Wait.
anyone allowed it to be as big as it was. Because it's horrible. It's so bad.
I think the concept of it was
The
good.
concept, brilliant. The concept,
Yeah.
I get it. I love it. I get it. It's scary. and it's real. It was just like a lot of the scenes didn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
And the framing, it just as like a film person, this is a person that makes media, it just, like, a lot of that was like, why? Who decided that shot? It's blurry. It's a weird angle. It doesn't seem like it has a purpose. And there's, like, the worst scene for me that I saw was when Johnny Depp dies. And she, like, can't get out of her house because her mom is drunk. And she was, like, the worst drunk ever. Like, I've played a better drunk than her before I ever was ever drunk. Like, like, that's a real, like, I've acted as a drunk person based off of other drunk people I've seen and had never tasted alcohol before and did a phenomenally better job than this woman. Like, she, like, doesn't even know what alcohol is. And she's like, I bet it makes you loopy. I was like, no, what do you mean? What is this? You're just insane. That's not even a thing. And, like, she, like, locked her in the house. And there's, like, this scene, which was, like, in and of itself was a phenomenal scene where he gets sunken into the bed, like, Freddy's arms grab him, and they, like, sink him into the bed, and then the, like, fountain of blood, which is just, like, phenomenal. And he, like, it, like, coats the ceiling in the way that, like, if it was opposite way of gravity would work. And then, so that's happening, and that's already happened. Like, he's already straight up dead for a long time now.
Yeah.
He's got, that's way more than what's in the human body, but sure.
Poor guy.
Probably, like, threw his bed up to the ceiling and causing a pool of blood. And it's, like, hilarious, and his mom's screaming. But then it cuts to her back at her house that she's locked in, and she's screaming his name. And it's like, you don't know that you didn't see that, but she's reacting as if she saw that pool of blood. And it's like, you didn't, because you're not there. You're at home, and you never left, and you're screaming, and your mom's passed out on the couch, and she's also in frame, and you're both blurry, like, no one's in focus. What is and it was there for, like, 2 seconds, but it was 2 seconds too long where it was like, this shouldn't have been here at all.
Yeah.
But it was just like, ah! And then it's back to, like, the mom screaming, which was appropriate, because she just saw her son disintegrated into a fountain of blood. And everyone reacted
That's
so
the way to go.
underwhelmed. Like, everyone was just like, well,
It happens sometimes that you go into your bed and become a blood fountain.
yeah. Like, what is this town?
Way of death.
Like, you have the town of Footloose and, like, no one dances. And it's like, okay, I can understand people being dumbfounded by, like, a dance move. They're like, what's that contraption? We don't dance here. But this town, how fucked up are you that, like, you go into a room and it's just coated in, but, like, the whole thing was blood. And they're like, must be a serial killer. Like, what fucking, that's more blood than
there should just be vomiting cops everywhere.
Right? Yeah.
But they were like, oh, it's all in a day's work. We gotta do this
Classic.
again. And she's like, I'm gonna find the guy who did this, and I'm gonna get him, Daddy. And he's like, no, can you not do that? Like, that's literally his tone of voice, is like, no, like, honey, that's my job. I should do that. And
The fact that he's not more concerned about the fact that his daughter's, like, he just saw the blood fountain.
Yeah.
And then it's, like, not more concerned that his daughter is saying that, like, she's seen him and is, like, gonna go get him now.
Yeah.
Like, why, that he wouldn't be like, oh, that's a lead that we should follow. Or what the fuck, daughter?
Exactly.
No.
You're insane.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Like, wasn't his first reaction, like, I'm gonna go run and stop her?
Right? Oh my god. That's exactly what his first fucking reaction should be.
Because
He's
it's
just
a
like,
movie and they
listen,
suck.
that's not allowed. We're not allowed to say that. We're talking about the lore of the world now. We're in it. We're in the world. It's not a movie. It's real life. And in this real life of that world, he heard his daughter say, I'm going to go find the fucker who did this, and I'm going to get him. And she says it in this, like, she's like, listen, Daddy, I'm going to go find the guy who did this, and I'm going to bring him to you, and you just be ready for it. And he's like, no, that's my job. Like, don't do that. And then it's like, and then he stays in that fucking house, and he's like, I gotta go through my police procedurals on what's the file number for fountain of blood out of a mattress? Like, Deneen, we gotta file that under there. Like, what's
The
the
body's
code
not
number?
even here. Like, is this his blood? We don't know.
It was a serial killer who just took buckets of
Yeah.
blood
No, what he did was blended him into a red paste.
It's not even though. It's not even chunks. It's just little,
Ew.
just
No,
thick
it's
blood.
pureed. You hit the settings. It's pureed.
Oh my
He is a
God.
liquid.
All the vampires in the
like
world were
human.
like, what?
He is
the
a human
fuck?
liquid fountain.
And like, so then she goes and she does all that shit. She goes through. She like finds him. She somehow gets him out of the world. And then she's like in the house and she's screaming from like the her house is gated up. Like all her windows are barred because her mom's
wow.
crazy and is like
mom's crazy.
she like thinks her daughter's crazy.
Yeah.
And so,
'Cause she is a little.
because she's a little crazy because she was like touched by a pedophile who was burned alive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so she's screaming from the window like, "Dad, I got him!" And because the kid got murdered across the street, and so there's whatever 5 cops they have in this town are in the yard, and the one comes over, this bumbling country idiot, it's just like, Billie Jean, like, what you doing up there? Whatever her name is, and she's like, "Get my father! I got him!" She's like reacting appropriately to the fact that she has a murderer, and like the fact that he is across the street on a murder case and is like,
Oh, the murderer isn't
It took them
here.
forever to react.
He wouldn't go to the house next door.
Yeah.
he's just like, oh, she's acting kind of strange.
Yeah.
Like, he's so, like, what are you doing up there?
Yeah.
What's happening? What are you going through? And she's like, get my fucking father. And then her dad just wanders out. Like,
He's
no one
like,
even
"Well,
got him.
Alright.
And then he's like, wait a second, so no, we should go get her. And that, like, that whole thing, and it makes me think of, like, is it because she is overreacting? Like, what she's seeing is
No,
actually
you know-
not happening?
You know what fucks me up? I'm sorry.
Hmm.
It fucks me up. That the fact that they went to this house, like, pretty recently after this kid was murder fountained.
Yes. Yes.
And then the daughter's like, you need to come over here, Dad. That, like, their thought wouldn't be that the murderer had
The murder
traveled to the
founder.
house next door.
Murder found
That,
him
like,
here.
There was just, like, dismissing her, where it's like, where did they think he went? It's not like he could go that far.
He drowned.
No. It's not like he could go that far. He had to go somewhere, and the fact that they just dismissed the daughter when she's like, he's fucking in here. And they're like, nah. People don't go to different houses within walking distance.
People do turn into murder fountains, but they do not go to other houses.
Oh my
Those
god.
are the 2 facts we know about this world. What is the most absurd? There's a lot of him popping through walls or like fabric, or the worst scene when she's in the bathtub and he comes up through her vagina area.
Oh,
Yeah, I do remember that with the claw.
Yeah, and it's like, really? And
You don't finger me, Freddy.
Oh my god.
Finger my Freddy.
Please no.
Ooh, we can't come back from that one. And he,
I didn't say finger my Freddy. I said don't finger me, Freddy.
I know,
Oh,
I know.
Okay,
I
cool. I just wanted to
I know.
clarify
It
which
would have
words
been
you
better
were.
if you're like, don't finger my Freddy.
Well, it's not a thing. My thing is not called a Freddy.
No.
His name is Freddy.
Wait,
And
what?
he's
don't
the one
put
with the
Freddy to Freddy,
fingers.
you're Freddy.
His name is Freddy, and he's the one with the fingers that are like
Don't
knives.
Freddy my Freddy.
No, your
Sorry.
parts are not called Freddy. His name is Freddy. That's the whole movie.
Don't Freddy my Freddy.
His name is Freddy. Stop it.
Forget about it.
Freddy about it.
Oh, Freddy.
Oh no. Freddy.
So this whole thing is horrible. The whole thing, like, apparently she was crazy, her mom was crazy, and there's that wonderful scene at the very end where she leaves because she woke up and everything's better again, like no one ever died. And then
Oh,
she gets
shit,
into
yeah.
the car, and the car is Freddy Krueger colors, and it comes out as a convertible, the top comes down, and it's Freddy Krueger sweater stripes.
And they can't get
And then
out.
it's like, it's great. It's a wonderful ending. I will.
Freddy's
applaud
a
that.
car
That was
now.
pretty good. Yeah, no, I believe this.
So
I will
it's not
say
as
that.
effective to you.
So Freddy as a villain was always great because he was funny. He had a lot of puns.
Yeah, no, he knew he was like fucking shit up, and he liked to like play on that. Like he wasn't. He thought the fact he was murdering you was hilarious, and he wanted you to know that like he didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It was like this was just his, he was like there to ruin your day,
Well, it's because he like.
and like that was almost scarier. It's like sociopathic-y.
Well, like Pennywise, he got off when he was a child predator. But he got off on the fear. It was like he needed not to be afraid. And that's what she said at the end. She's like, I'm not afraid of you. You're not real. You're just.
And that was like the big thing that like made him weak, right?
Yeah. And like how she was able to grab him.
Which is the theme that you keep saying. Where you're like, you have to not be afraid because fear gives them power.
Yeah, no, I totally related to that. Because she was like, no, you have no power over me. And I was like, that's me in all of my dreams. You suck, Freddy. You're dumb.
So I think with Freddy Krueger, what is great about him, that is funny, but also it's like this idea that you're, like, it's inescapable.
Yeah.
And that's what they have to deal with, is that you can't not sleep, because if you don't sleep, you go crazy.
Yeah.
And then if you're sleeping, you might die. So it's like, it's an inevitable thing that's going to happen to you. And like, no matter what they do, they're drinking coffee, they're playing on their gigantic computer screen, and doing all this thing. But it was like, it's inevitable, you're going to get.
Yeah, it's something you can't escape. It's something that you can't fight, because it's a dream. Like, it's like, you're not there. No one else can help you. It's you. Like, you're it. You're the only defense against him. There's no one who can help you. There's no one who can, like... And if you tell anyone, they think you're crazy. Like, they don't believe you. They take you to the hospital. They give you the sleeping pills. And then they're just setting you up to be, like, extra.
I felt that way with the sleep paralysis thing, where it's like, you're scared to sleep because you don't want to have that type of nightmare. Mm-hmm. But you also need to sleep because you need to continue with your... Like, you can't...
Well, after a certain amount of time of not sleeping, you're clinically insane. Because you just do not have your faculties. Yeah, like, you're literally, like, your brain no longer perceives reality. But, like, nightmare disorder itself is, dream anxiety disorder, which is a sleep disorder characterized by frequent nightmares. The nightmares, which often portray the individual in a situation that jeopardizes their life or personal safety, usually occur during the REM stages of sleep, like we were saying. So it's like, and when you think about it, like, the case for Freddy Krueger, it's kind of like what we were saying about it, where, like, you have the story they're giving you. You have this fantastical, like, horror story of this guy who lives in your dreams. You can't sleep because he'll kill you. Mm-hmm. Where you also have the reality of the situation, which is that these kids are suffering these psychological breaks, and that's how they're dealing with it, and that's how they're perceiving it, is that they can't sleep. They're suffering from nightmare disorder. And because they end up, like, in the end, she ended up institutionalized. Because in the second one, you hear that they left, and she wasn't murdered, she was institutionalized, because she had a psychotic break. And so did her mom. And so it's like, that's what happened. Like, that whole time when we're like, this is crazy, there's a fountain of blood, like, he probably was just actually murdered. And she was just dealing, like, maybe there really was a serial killer, and this is the way she was coping with that. Yeah. Because her friends were murdered.
But, yeah, I used to be really scared of Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, I remember that being the thing, like, fucked me up as a kid. Like, I was, like, Freddy Krueger, and it was Jurassic Park, Eye of the T-Rex. Like, I would be convinced that if I ever looked at my window at night, that one of those two things would be there. Oh, no. So I would always, like, face away from my windows. And I had, like, a bunch of other, like, I was very scared of the dark. And my mom, to this day, will probably, I just remember this. Because the way my room was, like, the hall light was always on, but they would turn it off at some point if they thought I was asleep. But I was never asleep because I was on fucking alert. I was, like, ready to guard the world. I was like, no. Yeah. We do not sleep. We need to make sure Freddy Krueger does not murder us in our sleep. Or that there are not dinosaurs outside our windows. Or that there's not Sixth Sense people throwing up in my closets and tents and shit. Ready, the dead people to come for me. I was very scared of those things. So they would turn off the light in the hallway, and I would just start screaming until they turned it back on. Oh. Like, that would happen so many times. It used to drive them crazy because I'd always want to turn off the hallway because I guess they need, like, dark to sleep. Yeah. And they would go out, like, thinking I was asleep, and then they, like, turn it off and then, like, until they did. Like, sometimes they'd be like, she'll stop. Yeah, I would not stop until they put that shit back on. Dude, I think I'm actually really scared of windows. I'm, like, really thinking about it now. And it's, like, weird. Like, to this day, like, I'll look. There's like kitten has like chewed a hole in that one little part of my blinds, and to this day I'm like scared that like if I ever look through there will be someone like standing
Well,
there.
that's why you need.
And that's why when you leave the like blinds up, I always like close
It's
them
the guy.
because I'm like no. All the blinds need to be
It's the
closed because
shadow
I
man
am
in our
not
hall.
going to ever look through
We have the
one of
shadow
those
man.
windows and fucking see a person in our backyard.
Oh,
And my
always
mom
think
fucked
there's
me
a
up because of that
person
because
there.
she climbed through my window. I remember this to a T. I was like, when I was little, I didn't sleep ever. Like, that's just a thing. I didn't like nighttime. Just didn't like it. I would sleep all day, and I would not sleep at night. But I remember I was, like, sitting in my room. I was, like, doing something weird because I was, like, 9. You do, like,
Of
weird,
course,
shady
yeah.
things when you're 9. I was,
Yeah.
like, probably trying to cut my own hair or some shit. I was doing something weird.
Yeah.
Or just, like, looking at myself in the mirror because I was, like, I'm in my awkward phase, but maybe I'm pretty. Like, it was one of those things where I was doing something embarrassing.
Yeah.
And then my fucking window opens, and my mom just fucking enters it, but I'm like, I have a trophy in my hand, I am ready to murder. And she was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And I was like, I almost just killed you. I had my like, participants basketball trophy in my hand. They're like, you did the thing.
Award.
I got my
Probably
participation
plastic.
trophy.
Not gonna do
No, that
anything.
shit had like marble at the bottom of it. I hit my brother in the face with that because he did the same thing. He came in my room with a
accident.
fucking ski mask on.
Oh my god.
And I didn't know who he was. It was nighttime. I hit him in the fucking eye. And I made him swear that he would tell my mom it was his fault, and he did. I used to sleepwalk. That's a thing.
My brother did.
And I would wake up in
Yeah.
different parts of my house, like with.
My brother
What?
My brother woke up in the middle of the night one night with the dog leashes at 4:00 in the morning with no dog on the end of the leash, opening the screen door. My mom ran to where he was, and she was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he's like, "Dad told me to walk the dogs." He was asleep, and my mom's like, "There's no dogs on the bottom of your fucking leash. Like, what are you talking about?" It's like, "Dad told me to walk the dogs." She was like, "Go the fuck back to bed right now before I fuck you up. Like, go to bed." And he was like, "Okay." I woke up. He was in the middle of my doorway.
No.
Yep. Because we
People
had
cannot
we
be
had
in
a
my
basement.
doorway.
We had a basement. He
Windows,
was watching
doors,
shows. He was watching his TV shows. I left my doors open in my bedroom,
I don't like it.
and
People
I fell
need
asleep.
to stay in their spots.
yeah, I fell asleep. I woke up. I felt something weird. I woke up.
Because someone's
And
fucking
he was-
watching you.
He was just standing there. I was like,
Are you gonna murder
"What are
me?
you doing?" He was like, just silent, completely silent.
No.
No.
No. He's
Go to
possessed.
bed.
He's gonna
He's
kill
like, "Okay."
One time, I fell asleep. And my eyes were wide open.
No.
My grandpa did that once, and I thought he was dead, and I literally like had the most horrifying time where I poked him, and he like woke up, and it was fine.
If you
But I
guys
was, like, so
ever do that
scared
in
that he
the
was
same
dead.
room as me, I swear I might die.
I did. I straight up was like asleep, dead asleep, and they were like, "What the fuck?"
No.
Her eyes are wide open, and they're like waving in front of me. I'm just like,
I probably thought you were dead.
Hate you.
You were
That's
dead
all-
first.
You were snoring? What is the explanation for that?
No.
my grandfather used to do
There
that
is
all the
shit
time.
landing in your eyes.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just that tired.
Oh
I
my
was that
God.
exhausted that my brain was like, "We're off."
We're done now.
It's
Last
on,
weekend.
and it didn't tell the rest of me.
I am the Krugers of Freddy. Tell Freddy you're Freddy. I smell you. It's the Hatman. Go to sleep, kids. Close your eyes.
The darkness of shapes.
Spooks of blood. Murder fountains.
Does anyone have any lasting thoughts about nightmares? Either
They're
about
scary.
Freddy or nightmare or
They're
sleep
scary. I
paralysis or
don't like
narcolepsis?
them. Don't like them.
Don't.
You don't. It's not a good time.
No, it's my favorite thing.
I
You
may or
wake
may
up
not
and
be
you're
able
like,
to
"Oh, I
sleep
didn't have a
tonight.
nightmare."
Yeah.
Damn.
so much.
Man, I slept so well and it
I'm
was
so
horrible.
tired.
I
I'm
wish I
so
had
tired.
nightmares.
I have to
wish
be.
someone visited
Oh my
me.
gosh! I need to wake up tomorrow. So early.
You
I
don't
don't
have to wake
consider my
up tomorrow.
nightmares
That's usually
nightmare,
my goal.
though.
I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? Tomorrow I'm gonna wake up.
Eventually.
I'm
That's
gonna-
the one thing I
I'm
have
gonna
to
wake
do.
up and be alive.
That's the one thing.
If I check that off,
I
and I'm
close
like,
my eyes, I open
You're
them,
like,
I do things.
I I did it.
Yeah, I did
Cool.
one thing. That's one thing every day I can check off.
Awesome.
I woke up. So that was our third episode of Ghouls in Our Store. It was our first guest episode with Siera, and it was about nightmares.
Did you know? Did you listen to the whole, 2-hour time?
It's not going to be 2 hours.
Nightmares! We are in your nightmares.
So, don't get married. Delete your kids.
Don't get married. Delete your kids.
Okay, bye.
Bye.